Today is October 5th, 2023, and I'm here with World War II veteran Bob Boyher. Bob, were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted.
And do you remember what year?
Around 1946, but I'm not sure.
42. The war was over in 45 or 46.
I can't hear you.
The war was over in 45 or 46?
Yes, 45.
45. So the war ended in 45. So were you 3 years in the Air Force?
This was 1943 when I went in. Yeah, August the 30th, 1943. That's when I went in the Air Force.
And where did you go for training?
Cadet training to Jefferson Barracks, Missouri. Which actually it was St. Louis. And I was there 3 or 4 months. And I remember they heard a class was voiced out at the gunnery school just ahead of me for 4 months. And I graduated there and went to overseas training after that. And we knew where we were headed. It was Las Vegas. And another 3 months, then graduated and received our wings. That was in Reno. And were you assigned to a certain plane, or did you choose? Well, we saw the plane, and the pilot and the co-pilot got together, and they thought that they'd try to get that plane. And I don't know how it happened, but anyway, they put their name in for it, and we got the plane and the crew, and I never did understand why they picked Unger, Captain Unger. I mean, he was never anything like that. Nobody knew him, but I think it's because once we were assigned to that plane, the plane was famous.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wanted to know what they was doing. But after that, we had to go to gunnery school, and that was in Kearney, Nebraska. And my pilot was from Seattle, Washington, where the Boeing airplane was manufactured. And the Air Force found out that the co-pilot's grandfather worked on B-17s. They gave it to us. They had a big celebration. We got that plane with the platform pictures and everything. That's how it come about.
So, after gunnery school, you went to, you said New York to get on a troop ship, or where did you go to get on a troop ship?
I'm not hearing you very well. My hearing is very poor. Try that again.
Where did you go to get on a troop ship to go overseas?
Oh boy.
What city?
We left in Maine. Oh yeah, Kearney, Nebraska. That's where we got the plane. Yeah, we had a big celebration when they gave us our plane, platform, and pictures and everything, and then they flew $5,000 to Bangor, Maine. And we had to wait there for a while till you get a tailwind to make it over to England. It was a 14-hour trip. and some of the planes didn't make it.
Where in England did you go?
Oh boy, can't think of the name of it. Wow, I want to know the name of that. I don't see it either.
It's okay if you can't remember. It's okay if you can't remember.
I can't remember.
Do you know what bomb squadron and bombardment group you were part of?
Yeah, what?
Do you remember what bomb squadron you were part of?
It was was it the 383rd or something like that, Dad? Your bomb squadron?
Oh, it had so many different names.
Oh, I used to know it. It was something like the 383rd.
Like a 486 was one of them.
Oh,
Every time we shipped, we got in a different location. Kearney, Nebraska. We picked up our plane. And they found out that the co-pilot's grandfather worked on B-17s. And that's how we got the plane.
Can you tell me about your time in England? When you went over, after you went overseas, can you tell me about being in England?
About being in England?
Yes.
I liked it in England because it was called Sudbury. And it was a nice quiet little town. And that's where we flew. We flew 5 grand to Bangor, Maine. And we took off with 100 planes and flew to Ireland. And that was our home base.
At Salisbury? Is that what?
In Sudbury, England.
Can you tell me about your first mission?
Well, see if it says anything here. Well, it says, were you ever shot down? I was never shot down. Plane was shot up, but was never injured. And I had some close calls. Every time we got back, I'd count the flak holes in the plane. And with a bomb up. And we lost one turret man and a waist gunner. And I had to give him morphine, but he died later. And it says, which mission was the most frightening? And I'd say it was probably the 3rd mission. When our plane got hit, we lost 2 engines, headed down in a spin. I was on the exit door, struggling against the centrifugal force to put on my chute. And I couldn't jump until the pilot said, no, give the command. He never did. He righted that plane up to 10,000 feet, and we tried to go over the Swiss mountains and we were crippled. We wanted to land in Switzerland because it was a neutral country, and once you got in a neutral country, you'd be there for the rest of the war. But that didn't happen. The pilot was screaming in the radio, well, we turned around and headed to England. Tried to find. Oh, it says, what was the most frightening mission? And the 3rd mission was the most frightening.
Do you know where you were, like, bombed? Like, where did you go to on your 3rd mission?
see if I can remember there.
He knows generalities and not specifics.
No, I just say we had missions took 6 to 10 hours. And we never got shot down, got shot up, and I was never injured. Had some close calls. Every time we get out, we'd count the flak holes in the plane, and our ball turret man was killed and the waist gunner was hit. And we had to give him morphine, but he died. And it says, which mission was my most frightening? And it was my third mission when our plane got hit. I lost 2 engines. We headed down in a spin. Was on an exit door, struggling against the centrifugal force to put on my chute. And I couldn't jump until the pilot gave the command. He never did. He righted the plane at 10,000 feet. We tried to go with the Swiss Alps to land Switzerland because we were crippled. And we wanted to land in Switzerland because it's a neutral country and we wouldn't have to go over the Alps. But we turned around and headed back to England. And the trip back, because we knew the Germans liked to pick off the crippled planes, and our plane was really crippled. Anyway, we made it back, and the pilot made a good landing with only 2 engines working. And that was my closest call.
Did you enjoy being a tail gunner?
Yeah, it was exciting.
What was it like to be back there and in action?
Well, it was exciting, and I liked it because I was by myself. Nobody got in my road. If I wanted to get out or what I could do what I wanted to do.
Did you ever shoot down any Germans?
Yeah, I think I had it in here someplace. Yeah, I don't see it right now, but I had credit for 1 kill. Yeah. After 35 missions were cleared, what did you do? I was sent back to the States and had a furlough and ended up in Japan. Within 30 days, I was back home and discharged. What do you think about that?
Did you ever encounter any of the German jets?
Any German jets?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Germans really had good jets.
Well,
fighter planes.
What was it like seeing those jets fly by?
Well, you had to get that old tail gun, or it was on a turret. And you had to spin that thing and get it right on him, and before you pull the trigger. And it was hard to do. But
did you ever get any escorts from the Tuskegee Airmen?
Did I what?
Did you ever get any escorts from the Tuskegee Airmen?
Oh yeah, yeah. We had P-51 escorts a lot. They were really good. They fly a plane, fly our wings, and keep all the fighters away. P-51 was probably the best fighter we had. But anyway, it's 35 missions and
did you do most of your missions over Germany?
yeah, it was over Europe.
But were they mostly over Germany or
Yeah.
different
Yeah,
countries?
it's mostly Germany. Hit Berlin about 3 times. Yeah.
Did you never hit like Poland or Austria?
Oh yeah. Bombed in Austria a lot. Yeah, we was all over Europe. Missions would run any 10 to 12 hours.
Did you ever get bored sitting back there?
Bored? Yeah, sometimes I go to sleep. Well, I did. We weren't in enemy territory. That was my co-pilot. No, it wasn't.
Did you enjoy your crew?
Yeah, we had a very good crew, and we kept in touch after the war. I don't know where our crew picture is. Do you?
Yeah,
Where is it?
I can get it for you.
But anyway, pilot was about 6'4", and the co-pilot was about 5'2".
It's the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, Unger was a pilot, and I was mostly friends with the pilot and the co-pilot. And
Who?
that picture here, I got with my brother after the war. That
No,
was
they-
after the war.
No, that's one of your crew members. I'm talking about this picture. He was on your crew. I forget his name. He was on your crew.
Yeah, that's Tony.
Tony. Okay.
Tony. He's a ball turret man, a little short guy. That's why we put him in ball turret. And he used to have a lot of fun with old Tony. And he'd get all shook up on the missions, and he's in that little ball turret. Boy, I don't know how he'd take that to being that closed up for hours in a little ball turret.
You have to be small.
I was in the tail, but I had more room than he had, and I could look out. But boy, I would no part of that ball turret. But Tony was only about 5 foot tall, so he fit right in that ball turret. Yeah, I kept in touch with the crew for quite a few years, but right now I don't know how many is left. I doubt if there's any.
There isn't. You're the last.
I kept in touch with Tony because he lived in New York.
You kept in touch with two of them, and I can't remember. One was in Virginia, and one was in New York.
Yeah, Virginia, yeah. But I think they're all gone.
Yeah.
I think they're all gone.
They are.
Yeah, it was a exciting game, I'll tell you.
Towards the end of the war, did you ever hear stories or see anything weird in the skies? Have you ever heard of the Foo Fighters?
No, I never saw anything. These people imagine they seen things, but I never saw anything that was, I don't know what they were talking about.
So you never believed their stories?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to fly in those 35 missions, and that's probably about 10 hours. So that's about 350 hours in the air. Wow. That's a long time. But anyway, what do you think of your experience serving in World War? Hmm. Well, it was just if Japan that Hitler would have won, we wouldn't have freedom of religion or anything, and we had to do something about that Germany, and we did.
Did you ever thought you were going to be sent to Japan?
Thought what?
You were going to be sent to Japan?
I thought about it, and I thought, boy, I sure don't want to go. But the war ended then, and I never had to go. Flew all my missions out of England and Italy. I was transferred to Italy and flew about probably half of my missions out of Italy.
Do you know where in Italy?
In Italy, Sudbury, little town.
Okay.
Had an air base there. You know, it was out in the country. I liked Italy. It was a nice little country. But I never got back after the war, but that would have been nice. Anyway, that's a bunch of, I thought I had about, oh yeah, I got a bunch of pictures in there. Yeah, I get this down every once in a while and won't look at it.
Did you ever bring back any souvenirs?
I probably did, but they got lost, and I wouldn't know where they were. I brought different things, different kinds of shells, 50 caliber shells. I don't know what happened to all of them.
This is of Rome from the war.
Well, that's a souvenir.
Yeah, a souvenir. But yeah, you have a couple bullets. You have a couple bullets, and I found them when you moved here. Can't remember.
I don't know where they're at.
I'm gonna go look.
Did you ever pull out any German shells out of the wings and keep it as a souvenir?
Did I ever, what?
Did you ever pull any flak shells out of the wings and keep it as a souvenir?
No, I don't remember that. Most of the flak that went through the plane, you'd never find it. Just all you did was find the holes, and then just go right through the fuselage, and we never got shot down. We got engines shot out. Always limped back and made our 35 missions. Well,
Did you have any friends on any other planes that you saw got shot down?
no, I really didn't know anybody else that was in the Air Force that I knew. The crew that I was with after the war, we saw each other a lot. Most of them lived in around New York, so we had several reunions, and the pilot and the co-pilot, they were out from Washington State, so I never got to see them much. But the ball turret man, Tony. I lived in Florida at the time, and he'd come down to visit, and we talked over the war and everything, and I kept in touch with him.
How does it make you feel when you talk about your war stories?
You know what?
How does it make you feel when you talk about your service during the war?
Oh, I don't know how it makes me feel, and I just praise the Lord that I came back and never got shot, never got hurt. I had close calls, but never got hit, and praise the Lord for that.
When did you start talking about your war experience?
When?
Yeah.
Oh, probably after I got older and got married, and the kids would get inquisitive. I had to tell them all about it.
Right.
35 missions, and I just finished those when the war ended.
Where were you when Pearl Harbor was bombed?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I think I was still in the States.
Were you still in high school at the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things I can't remember.
Have you been on the honor flight?
No.
Yes, yes.
Honor flight?
That's where you go to
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. You went with David on an honor flight to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know. That was
Yeah, I can barely remember that.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, it was great. Yeah. Oh, the kids are always interested in the war and what happened.
Right.
He was on the 486.
Okay.
I was
Oh, I don't know what she's doing, what she's saying.
6th Bombardment Group, 8th Air Force. It says flew another 25 missions with the 43rd Bombardment Group, but was assigned to the 46th Bombardment Group near South Sudbury, England. But you were transferred to Foggia, Italy.
Foggia.
Okay. Wow. That's impressive. Well, that's pretty interesting. You were on a famous plane that people, I believe they've heard of it, probably. But,
Yeah, the
That's
bad
interesting.
thing was that plane was supposed to be saved and they scrapped it by mistake. Somebody didn't do their job.
the third mission was over Mannheim, Germany. Interesting.
Mark, the crew kept in touch years after the war, and they're all gone now. But we kept in touch with the pilot and co-pilot,
Yeah, you would meet like once a year,
Tony.
and they'd talk on the phone, and they'd travel to Virginia, Dad would, Dad and Mom, to see him, and New York.
Yeah, Tony came down and visited.
You in Florida, yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can answer all the questions I have in my head right now. But thank you, Bob, for taking the time to sit down and do this with me. It's a real pleasure.
Well, appreciate you coming, and my gosh, I was surprised. I don't know how Becky happened to find you.
It was actually Aaron.
It was Erin,
Aaron.
yeah, your granddaughter,